He-Man and the Masters of the Universe has completely failed to use the power of Grayskull at the box office.
I have the power! Son of a...
And has been a catastrophic bomb opening weekend. It somehow managed to do worse than the Marvels.
You serious?
Which I didn't even think was possible, but this isn't the first time a live-action He-Man movie has struggled at the theater. If we take a look back at the first live-action attempt in 1987 with Dolph Lundgren, that film made $4 million domestically opening weekend off a $20 million budget, which was looked at as a complete flop and was heavily criticized by fans. The movie came out at a low point for the brand as a whole in 1987, and it faced massive budget cuts that happened during production, which caused major story changes, which took the story from Eternia, this distant world where futuristic technology meets a medieval setting, to planet Earth. So that, combined with oversaturation of the product, caused it to struggle right from the start. But that isn't the case for this new movie. This film is struggling for a different reason. And the problem with that is, this movie is genuinely good. So what's the real reason people aren't seeing Masters of the Universe? And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a He-Man expert because I never watched the original show. It was way before my time. But I went to see this movie because I was genuinely interested. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself, which I wasn't expecting at all, because the promotional trailers made it come off as this Marvel Barbie humor piece of slop media that we're used to getting. And I also can't stand Jared Leto, and he's Skeletor, who is a main character, so I just wasn't going to watch it. But that couldn't be farther from the opposite. I actually loved Jared Leto's Skeletor. He was terrifying and hilarious at the same time. And this is the first time I think his odd behavior has actually worked perfectly. So that's something that genuinely caught me off guard and surprised me. So the reason this movie is bombing isn't the Jared Leto curse, so we can't use that as an excuse. The real problem with the movie is the time of year it was released and the current competition. Horror movies carry the box office now. We could even say that they're the new blockbuster, which used to be dominated by superhero movies with big action sequences that included huge character team-ups like this Masters of the Universe film. And now I think that's become a thing of the past. Psychological thriller and horror movies have taken that top spot. We got Obsession and Backrooms a couple weeks prior to this movie, and Obsession is the first film since E.T. to grow in ticket sales the second and third weekend after release. That is an extremely difficult thing to do, and even more difficult to try and match up against and outperform, especially when majority of your audience is Gen X or older millennials who grew up with He-Man. And with Gen Z being the highest percentage of moviegoers out of every generation right now, that's a huge demographic you want to try and hit, and honestly, I just don't think this movie was put out at the right time to be able to do that. If it was released in early March when there was less competition, I think it had a strong chance at doing a lot better, because it appealed to me, and I know it appeals to younger viewers, because I saw the movie twice and both times there were younger kids in the audience, who were giggling and laughing all at the same jokes as the adults. This could have been a film that reignited the popular toy brand for another generation, and I know it hit for some kids. When I was in the store the other day, I saw a father and son walking out with their whole basket full of Masters of the Universe stuff, including duplicates of items, which I thought was really cool. Something that the father had probably loved as a kid, he now gets to share that excitement and experience with his kids. But since younger millennials aren't familiar with the Masters of the Universe, they're not taking their little children to see it, and older millennials are reportedly going to see the film by themselves mainly, while Gen Z is watching Obsession and Backrooms 3 or 4 times. This movie has everything it takes to appeal audiences of all ages. It has adult humor that's very tactically placed to get parents to laugh, while also using younger humor to appeal to a younger audience. And it mostly embraces He-Man for what he is: strength, masculinity, strong moral integrity with compassion for others. There is a tad bit of woke messaging in there, but for the most part, it makes fun of that stuff and it doesn't try to lecture you on it. And it also has a serious tone with emotion and actions that have real consequences. I'd say it's fairly positive and it treats masculinity with some dignity. It's relatable but also comedic, making moments when I was laughing even when it continues to make the same joke over and over again. And yes, I'm sure it has some problems that the diehard He-Man fans will bring to my attention, but I feel like this is the perfect film to spark a new generation of interest. You don't have to fully understand the lore or have seen previous things. You can go see it, have a good time, get introduced to the character, and after say, I want to see more. And I truly think this movie will have a big rebound when it hits streaming. It isn't anti-masculinity at all, but the promotional material and marketing didn't do the best at fully leaning into the He-Man aspect. It seems that it was treated a little bit more like a Barbie movie for boys, which I think has severely hurt its theatrical run. And that's so unfortunate because for the most part, it shares a great message. For example, Adam is struggling with the feeling of being stuck and how to navigate his life. He knows his purpose, but is constantly being told he needs needs to come back to reality. He's asked by his roommate, why can't you just go to work, live for your weekend, and work for your next vacation? Which is a feeling I could relate with being in my early 20s, trying to find your purpose and understand that there's more to life than just punching a time clock, or looking forward to your 2 days off at the end of the week, or working all year just to get a week of vacation. That hit hard for me, and I'm sure it does for others too. Another example is when Idris Elba's character, Man-at-Arms, explains to Adam what actually makes a man. It's not about just beating people up, or using brute strength or suppressing emotions. A man stands up when he is needed, not to show off his muscles or be trigger happy, but to protect the ones he loves. And the whole premise of what makes you a man has always been something I have found very interesting. I heard Shia LaBeouf say on a podcast what he thinks makes a man.
As an American man, when do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. Yep. And so, like, I am very new to this being a man thing.
And Man-at-Arms makes that same point, saying that you become a man when you have people that rely on you to protect them and take care of them. And a man is strong but also empathetic, which I think is a fantastic message to send to a younger generation, and young boys especially. And yes, I know Shia isn't someone we should model our life after, but he has a good point. So it's unfortunate people aren't seeing this movie to experience those moments and give it a chance. But there's still hope for more Masters of the Universe. Amazon has said that they aren't judging box office numbers on the success of the film, which is odd because that's how you would normally judge the success of a movie. They're saying that the box office numbers are their secondary concern and they care more about how the movie will do on Amazon Prime, which makes complete sense because that's majority of where their ad revenue comes from, and I think the movie will have a massive increase in viewership on Amazon Prime, and I really hope it does. That's if it becomes an Amazon Prime original and you can watch it for free, or if it has a $4 price tag to rent, because honestly, majority of people I'm sure will spend $4 to watch it at home, then spend $12 to $18 to go see it in the theater. And they're also judging based off the merchandise sales, which from what I understand must be pretty good, because I've looked for certain figures on the websites that they're being sold on, and a lot of the stuff is completely out of stock, so I think it's doing really well from that perspective, and I believe that's what Amazon and Mattel were hoping for in the first place. And the word to mouth about the movie has also been great. All over the internet I'm seeing nothing but positive things. I don't think He-Man will ever be something that's forgotten about. Something else will eventually come around and they'll just try another iteration. They've done it in the past, making multiple different series, especially the one that they had on Netflix for a time. I feel like it'll always have some kind of presence. But I really highly recommend going to see this movie. It was a great time, and I think all ages will have fun. I think the whole family will have fun. I personally think it's worth the money to buy a ticket. It sends a good message, and it's just an overall fun watch with great action, some humor, and a heartfelt message. It would be awesome to see if it picks up in the next couple of weeks, but who knows? If you saw Masters of the Universe, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the movie. And if you enjoyed it, hit that like button so I know as well. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.